Now people like to debate daily budget. The reality is that if you're running a campaign and you have a specific budget, it's usually better just to use lifetime budget and paste it evenly. However, if you don't have a set budget, put whatever you're willing to spend as a rule of thumb. If your estimated cost per lead for the type of product you're selling, your business vertical, whatever that is, and try to aim to get a minimum of 25 to 50 conversions a week. So here's an example of how you might calculate that. I already know because I've ran this campaign before. On average to download for these downloadables. So I want to do 30 times 50 ideally. Best practice. And doesn't also mean that you won't see performances. So by 7 days, ideally I would want to do to 14. Doesn't mean you have to. And the reason why is because and the algorithm requires about 50 leads for you to be able to 50, for it to be able to figure out who your audience is. You don't get 50 conversions or 50 leads a week. I've seen plenty of campaigns that do just fine. So again, but if you wanted a best-in-class approach to your cost per lead is gonna be so I'm gonna do, let's just say 757 days, so I'm gonna do about just do $100 a day, just make it even. Daily budget Okay, so then I'm gonna say this campaign is gonna start. Best-in-class approach, you want to start things towards the beginning of the week when you're launching campaigns. That's just kind of my rule of thumb. And just think about it, why would you want to launch? You know, most of them are not going to be online. Okay, and then I'm gonna do my end date is just, whatever the end of the month for this example. Cool, so now I scroll down to my audience. I would go about building this. I already have pixel people that have previously submitted for leads on my website. Outside of this, and then from that custom audience. So I already have it built. Have a separate video. You could just look it up on the channel, so I'm just gonna look up this lookalike audience on Facebook. Targeting custom audiences and lookalike audiences for the longest time, because of the fact that they're being modeled off of existing data that you have. Now the better the quality of the data. Let me just make sure I have this okay, cool. So I have here looking like 1%. The difference is that as you go larger in size, there's less matching characteristics from that original source, so at 1%, you are matching the most amount of characteristics to that original source. And in this example, it's people who previously submitted a lead for this ebook. When I go to 10%, I get a larger audience size. So for this, I'm just going to keep it at 1%. It's a best practice to over time. And I'm just gonna bring this down to 45. Just because I have a good idea of my target audience. Here you can obviously come in and move. You could do zip codes, you could do DMA targeting. For the most part, The larger you can keep it, the better. One way that I might segment audiences is just make one ad set per audience. That reason being is you might want to modify your creative for the different countries. But for this campaign, we're just doing us. Detailed targeting. You know, if I wanted to type in people that maybe a certain job title in industries, is that kind of targeting is not great on Facebook. To share that information on Facebook, people are incentivized to self-identify. But not so much on here. Also, you have interest behaviors. I could type in, let's say social media. Strategies social media exam. One thing you want to note here is, as you're searching through detail targeting, notice some of these say interest. Some of these say employer. So this is people who actually. So that's a publisher that does a lot of content around social media. But you might want to target somebody that's interested. As you can see in this example here,